Okay, I'm on the road again, just leaving Bristol, Virginia, headed to Roanoke, Virginia. Just pulled out of the Hard Rock and jumping on 81 North. Cloudy and overcast today. The car was covered with water, so it's been raining. And you'll see it's 73 degrees out, nice and cool day. And I've got a very short road trip this morning, 148 miles. You'll see since charge on the current drive, that's what we're going to go off of today. We have been driving for 2 minutes. So we just pulled out about a mile ago, and consumption is not great. But again, we're just starting out, so that will improve dramatically here as we go. So we're going to get up to highway speed. We're going to go ahead and engage FSD and let it do its thing. And we're going to sit back, relax, and enjoy the drive off to Roanoke, Virginia. 2 hours and 10 minutes, 148 miles. This is an easy one today. Now, I'm not resetting that Bristol trip gauge just because I want to be able to see. I drove from Cherokee, North Carolina, to Bristol, Virginia, to Roanoke, Virginia. This will show me the overall consumption over that about 200 and actually about 280, 290 mile stretch. And then we'll see under the current drive and since charge. I'm not going to charge between here and Roanoke. If I have to stop for a restroom or something, so be it. But I need to get there for meetings, so I'm just going to hit the road and drive straight through easily. You can see, again, 147 miles to go, about a total of 150-mile trip. And I'll arrive with 53% on the battery. No big deal. I did charge up to 100%. They did have free charging at the Hard Rock, and I got it plugged in and then had the valet unplug it this morning, pull it up front. Loaded the car up with all my belongings, and on the road we are with another Tesla road trip. If you enjoy this real-world road trip content, this is just me, you, and the camera. Not any fancy music, fancy overlays, or any of that. Do me a favor, click like, click subscribe, and follow along for road tripping all across the country in multiple different vehicles. My next trip after this, I'm doing some intra-Virginia, North Carolina stuff from Roanoke, Virginia to Danville, Virginia, Charlotte, North Carolina, back and forth, etc., etc. But then I'll be traveling here in a few days from Roanoke, Virginia into Alabama for one night, and then into Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana, where I'll be for a couple of days. So, yeah, I've got a lot planned coming up. Watch for those adventures, and this, like I said, is just going to be a short one off to Roanoke, Virginia. You'll see my efficiency's improving just as we float along here. We're in standard mode, just riding along with traffic, and we're down to, 400 watt-hours per mile. That'll continue to improve as we drive along and the car calms itself down. I had climate on keep, very, very humid because of the rain, and I was hot from loading the car up and everything, so I want to get cooled down. And I had that keep mode on. And now climate's on auto. I do have it pretty low. It is pretty chilly, but I want to get the cabin cooled down. And you'll see now we're in the 350s. That'll jump down into the 250, 260 here momentarily. Anyway, we're coming up past another supercharger that I've stopped at many times here in Bristol. Check it out. Let's click it on. This is the one that's at Sheets, and multiple different restaurant options right there. Pretty cool. Charged there many times with many different electric vehicles, including our Rivian R1T. Anyway, don't need any charging stops today. Glad that we started out at 100%. I love being able to pull into a hotel, plug in, and get free electrons, even if you have to pay for them. But it's so much sweeter when it's free, and you can just fill your car up to 100% for free on their energy. Really helps with the hotel cost if you think about it. If you could do that in a gas car and get a free tank of gas when you were staying at a hotel, wouldn't that be nice? And I get a lot of free charging. I've got a 2-year EVgo plan. I have about a year left on it, and so I've got 1 year of EVgo charging for free for left, and they're popping up everywhere. There's tons of them at the Pilot Flying J's. And then, of course, you get all the free charging at hotels and stuff, which is remarkably good. So there's that, advantage. So between the two, pretty darn good. Anyway, I'll be back with you here shortly. pretty foggy this morning, as you can see, and we're just going to go ahead and ride along. It is foggy this morning. That's okay, though. Nice, cool, chilly, 73 degrees. It actually feels pretty good. Been driving for 24 minutes, 278 watt-hours per mile. Of course, consumption's improving as expected. Can you believe I have 7,100 miles on this Model Y Juniper already? This is a 2026 Model Y Juniper in ultra red color. You can probably see the hood color there or on the mirrors. And yes, it's a 2026. You can tell that by the VIN number, the 10th digit of the VIN number. But anyway, just 3 months of ownership, and I'm up to 7,100 miles. As a matter of fact, by the time I make it back to Shreveport, and then ultimately to Dallas-Fort Worth, this vehicle will have about 8,500 miles on it in 3 months. So pushing 3,000 miles a month. That's pretty normal for me, but I spread my miles across multiple vehicles. In the same amount of time, I've been racking miles up on the Cybertruck and some on the Rivian as well. So we're going to end up putting 50 to 75,000 miles spread amongst the cars this year on the vehicles, just with me driving, not including whatever my wife drives. And she doesn't do a lot of individual road tripping, although sometimes she'll meet me on a trip, but a lot of times she will travel with me, and when she does, we take one of our bigger vehicles like the Rivian or the Cybertruck. Anyway, only 120 miles to go. It shows an hour and 46 minutes. We'll see how it goes, but we are rocking and rolling. Like I said, it's cloudy. FSD's doing its thing. I am just relaxing here. I think it's amazing. Gotta love a Tesla. Anyway, listen, if you have any feedback, do me a favor. Shoot me a comment, positive, negative, or otherwise. I appreciate all comment and feedback. It certainly helps. And I enjoy reading your comments and responding to them, regardless of the direction they take. And I do value and appreciate them. So here's the exit for Chilhowie, Virginia. I'm going to go ahead and press the right turn signal stop. Because we're in hurry mode, it doesn't like to shift lanes. Watch. It might. Is it going to do it? Yeah, now it will. It decided it will eventually. Hurry just loves to ride that left lane. They need to have a definite speed set feature, and you can just leave it in standard and it would stay in a right lane. What happens is hurry mode is the only mode that it'll actually follow the speed you set it at. In standard or chill, FSD profile standard or chill, that's just kind of the max speed, and it fluctuates up and down quite a bit with traffic, which is pretty natural in the way a lot of people drive. But I think most people, when you're setting a cruise control system, you want it to run a finite speed. You want to be able to set a speed and have the car follow that. So that should be an option or a checkbox or something to say set definite speed or set finite speed, whatever. It used to work that way, but in later versions of FSD, now the speed just wanders all over the place, which is why most of the time mine runs in hurry mode while I sit here and relax. Anyway, down there's the trip info. You can see overall in the Bristol trip, 171 miles, 231 watt-hours per mile. Phenomenal. Lifetime on the car, 262 watt-hours per mile. Incredible as well. And on the drive this morning, not that efficient yet, but again, we're just starting out, so that too will improve. Okay, I'll be back with you momentarily as we climb the hills up here, headed towards Wytheville, Virginia, and ultimately Roanoke, Virginia. My guess is, unless you've driven a car with FSD and you've actually used it, and I'm talking about one of the later versions, I'm talking about a Hardware 4 car, you just don't know how magical it is. I mean, I have been driving thousands of miles in this Juniper. I'm going to estimate 95% of all my driving in this car since I've purchased it has been on FSD. It's just that good. And that's not the case with any other Tesla I've ever owned, or frankly with any of the assistive technologies on any vehicle I've owned. I generally don't trust them. This one is very, very freaking good. And it makes road tripping so much easier. By the way, if you're going to buy a Tesla, use a referral code, because right now you get 3 months of free full self-driving. So get one from a friend or family member, or feel free to use mine. It's in the description of my videos. And if you need any parts or accessories for your Tesla, same way, by the way, if you're buying a Rivian, I've got a link in my description for that. I've got links for all kinds of suppliers for some really cool products like EV Base and TL Yard and many others that make some really, really good products. Yeah, check out that. But, get that free FSD and experience it. I know even if you don't use a referral, you get like 1 month. I mean, try it. Really try it and open your mind. The scariest time you drive on FSD is the first time, because it's really weird to sit in the driver's seat and have a car control you. If you'd be in the passenger seat with it, and as a matter of fact, I've done many drives now where I've just kept my hand kind of on the wheel like this, my feet by the pedals, not on them. And actually, I had somebody say, "Your driving's really smooth." I said, "Let me let you in on a secret. I haven't driven at all." They said, "Yeah, you're driving." No, the car, I've had full self-driving on. I just had my hand resting on the wheel. I didn't turn the wheel. I didn't press the wheel. And I haven't had my feet on the pedals. What about the turn signal and stuff? No, the car did absolutely everything. I just didn't want to have my hand up on the windowsill and freak you out like this. But the car's driven us the entire way there. And that has really, really shocked some people. Matter of fact, a friend of mine rode with me from Dallas-Fort Worth to Tulsa in this car and was completely blown away. About halfway through the trip, I put my hand up here. He eventually put my hand right up here. He eventually looked over and goes, "Hey, why is your hand not on the wheel?" I said, "I haven't driven this car since we left. It's been driving. I was just resting my hand there at first to keep you comfortable." And he said, "There's no way." And it pulled into a parking lot. I hit the park button on the screen. It parked. He and I had a meeting at a restaurant, did that, came out, punched in the address of our hotel. It drove us there and then parked there, and he was just awestruck. It is amazing, y'all. And when I'm on a trip like this, it just takes away any fatigue. I've got to drive over here a couple hours. I've got meetings all day. I think I have 8 or 10 meetings back to back to back, which I got to be sharp. And then I got to take off and drive another couple hours, and I have 2 more meetings. So this takes a lot of the stress out of it. I've been doing this for many, many years, and Teslas have been a game changer for me. Really have made my drives so much better. And people would think, as much as I road trip, why don't I do it with a gas car? Well, there's several reasons. I wanted to test the EVs back several years ago, so I purchased my first Tesla right around 3 years ago, almost 3 years to the day. And I took my first road trip the next day after buying it. I had no idea what I was doing and just let the car route me. And it was game-changing for me. Of course, those first trips, I sat and charged a long time. I would sit at these chargers 30, 40 minutes and not understand that I could just charge or hop or whatever. And I've learned how to manage the logistics of it to where my typical stop is 15 minutes or less, and every 2 to 3 hours. And then the cars have just gotten more efficient, and then self-driving's gotten better. It has just really, really, really blown me away. And the time savings for me of waking up to a full tank of fuel every day at home, never having to go to the gas station when I'm around my house, never having a gas station when I'm around my work, never really having to go for service, no oil changes, no transmission, none of that nonsense, just an occasional tire rotation at Discount Tire, which is no cost, way lower operating costs, way lower fuel costs. And you add it all up, and it just makes sense for me to road trip in an electric vehicle. I'm not losing a ton of time. I've beat people on the similar routes that are driving gas cars in my Tesla, and it shocked them because they would stop for fuel, stretch your legs, do this and that. I would just stop, do a splash and dash and go, and actually beat them out of the stop and made it to the final destination before they did. It is possible. Now, if you're somebody who gets in a car and wants to drive 500 miles straight through, which is not most people, but if you are, yes, this will be slower. But if you want to do 250 or 300 miles straight through, it'd be fine. People have a lot to learn. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and a lot of misinformation out there about electric vehicles. I can tell you it's changed things for me in a very positive way, and I would never go backwards. Now, Do I still have access to and use some gas vehicles? I do. I have some gas vehicles here in Virginia. A Ram pickup and a Lexus that I drive and use and whatever. And of course, we've got the Rivian that we use and drive, and this one, and the Cybertruck. We have a few vehicles. We keep them in multiple locations. But I just love the EVs. The power, the torque, the instant response. Everything about them makes me enjoy them even more. And then the technology constantly evolving is so impressive to me. I just absolutely love it. I love how full self-driving has become a really, really great thing. And yeah, I'm a fan. I'm really a fan. Okay, I'll leave you to it. Let's take a look at some stats. 73 degrees out, 8:14 a.m. I've been rolling now for 43 minutes. 276 watt-hours per mile, driven 51.4 miles. And we're under 100 miles. That means we're almost there. That's like a blink of an eye. Hour and 27 minutes left. Should arrive to work with about 51% left on the battery. And around 9:42 a.m. Okay. I'll be back with you here shortly. Okay, here's another update for you. 8:29 a.m. 74 degrees out. We have 73% left on the battery. It's saying I'm going to get there with 51%. We've got 79 miles yet to go. We're at 271 watt-hours per mile. After driving 58 minutes and 70 miles. So we've been on the road about an hour. Yeah, hour and 12 minutes left. 9:42 a.m. arrival time. Let me dial the speed back here because we're getting into a work zone. And I want to get around this car that's beside me so I can let this car that's on my bumper go by. There we go. Turning into a beautiful morning here in Virginia. Still 73 degrees out, but I imagine it'll warm up some. You can see the sky is spectacular looking this morning. So I thought that was an ID4 with Virginia tags zipping up along. That's a nice electric vehicle. I've been in those, driven them. My son had almost bought one of those, and really I think they're a nice car. You know, the software's a little glitchy, buggy, whatever, but coming from a gas car, most people don't know that it's bad. It's better than what they had in their car, so I think it's all relative. Compared to the Tesla software, it's trash. But anyway, riding along. I'll be back with you here in just a bit. Okay, as always, the car is magically efficient. 258 watt-hours per mile. That will improve here, in my belief, over the next 60 miles. This is usually a very efficient stretch. The weather's good. It's 77 degrees. It's clear skies. Beautiful driving day. Gonna arrive around 9:41 a.m. with 50% on the battery. And yeah, this thing is magically efficient. Nice drive through here, isn't it? So how do you like road tripping? I personally love it. I think road tripping is a lot of fun. Is that something you enjoy, or do you dread it? Most people I know do not like the road trip. They feel terrible if they have to drive more than an hour. They get a lot of anxiety. I don't mind it at all. I enjoy road tripping. What about you? I'd love to hear your opinion on it. And if you do get anxiety, maybe full self-driving could help you get over that. I keep showing my hand up there just to show you all that this car continues to drive me through traffic, through whatever we need to do. It's doing its job remarkably well, I may add. Here's the exit for Pulaski, Virginia. We're almost there. Less than an hour to go. Looking forward to getting there. I'm going to get the car plugged in. I do have charging at the office. We're going to juice this thing up again and head down this afternoon to Danville, Virginia, which is about another 2-hour drive. I won't be able to film that for you because I've got coworkers in the car with me and meetings. So, unfortunately, no video on that one, but I will show you here the final stats on this particular trip. coming up soon. Okay, here's another trip update. Working through the winding roads here, through the mountains. We are down to 245 watt-hours per mile, 120 miles in, an hour and 40 minutes. And we've got about 30 minutes left, 29 miles, 29 minutes, almost there. We get off on 581 south towards Roanoke in 21 miles. So, car's doing great. I've had it on FSD the entire time. No disengagements whatsoever. And, yeah, it's doing its job. I'm running in standard profile currently. It seems to be holding speed properly. It's changing lanes properly. Very, very happy. It's been a good trip this morning. I appreciate you following along. And I can't believe, again, how many miles I have on this Model Y. 7,200 miles now. And just magical efficiency. I keep saying that. This car is so good, y'all. Really, the upgrades are remarkable. Couldn't be happier. Okay, I'll be back with you here in a bit. Okay, the car continues to improve, showing I'm going to ride with 52% now. We're down to 238 watt-hours per mile. Overall, in the Bristol trip from Cherokee to Bristol to Roanoke, Virginia, 230 watt-hours per mile. I mean, this thing continues to impress. Let's put it back in normal standard mode. That way it moves out of the fast lane and lets cars get around me. We're almost there, thank goodness. 9:39 a.m. ETA now. Nice looking Ford Maverick. Do you know, I read somewhere Virginia has more personalized plates per capita than any state. Their personalized plates are very, very inexpensive, and that plate said Milkman. But I see a lot of personalized plates. And it's funny, they're expensive in Texas, but I do have a personalized plate on this vehicle as well as on the Cybertruck. So the Model Y Juniper has EV Caddy, EVCADDY as its license plate, which I find extremely amusing because I had that on my Cadillac Lyriq and the car failed, and I bought this to replace the EV Caddy. So this is my new EV Caddy. Lyriq was terrible charging, not tolerable for road tripping. I had to get rid of it, unfortunately. I would not recommend that car until they get to Gen 2 and they improve their charging. It's very difficult to road trip in one unless you're okay with sitting at a charger for an hour in the summer in the heat when it can't cool the battery properly. Just terrible EV. Great car, terrible EV. And anyway, on the Cybertruck, the license plate is the same as my YouTube channel. It's by Tesla, BYTESLA. So, and it's a Texas oil and gas plate that says by Tesla. So I do like and I'm a fan of personalized plates, but I noticed so many of them when I'm in Virginia, and some very creative ones. So I think that's pretty neat. Looks like it's starting to get pretty overcast here. We're at 82 degrees. It has warmed up some. 9:23 a.m. I'm going to arrive to my work office at 9:39. And yeah, this is the magical efficiency area where I think we'll see this really improve over the next 10 minutes or so. So we'll see. Let's see what it gets to. But I knew it was going to get better as we got closer. And I think it'll continue to improve as we ride into Roanoke, Virginia. And again, I want to thank you all for following along. I appreciate you watching these road trips. It's a great hobby for me. I enjoy it. And hopefully it gives you something to do recreationally, watching, listening, and learning maybe how the Tesla interface works. Someone asked me, how do I get this up on the screen? So if that's not there, you can typically click the little pop-up. It'll bring up your music. You can swipe these cards then for several things. And if you click them on, it'll pull up the corresponding app. Pretty neat, right? So hopefully some of these little tips help. But anyway, we are getting closer. Be there momentarily. I'll be back with you shortly. Oh, here's a construction zone. Somebody asked me to film a little bit in a construction zone with the Model Y on FSD. Now, I am going to rest my hand on the wheel just because we're riding up along a construction area. But you'll see it's managing it perfectly. Should really be no issue. I think it does a great job in construction. Some little tricky parts coming up here. You'll see just tons and tons of traffic now. Efficiency continues to improve. Of course, we're going a little slower, but take a look at the efficiency down there. I don't know about you. I think FSD's doing a fine job. Let's see how it does with this lane shifting up here. I don't think it'll have a problem. It's riding right beside this big truck. It's staying off to the left side of the lane. You'll see it's riding closer to the yellow line, which is where it should be. And then it should adjust over. Yep, it just did. Here we've got a hard braking event. Let me keep my four ways on because I got vehicles behind me. Okay. So far, so good. Very slow moving through here. Yeah, the mapping didn't pick up any traffic in this area, but it's certainly very congested right now. Traditionally, there's been traffic in this area even prior to construction. I'm hoping they expand this and make it 3 lanes going in each direction. I'd hope that's what all this construction is about, but we will see. I have no idea. Pretty cool, though, to be able to drive, 150 miles and use less than half the battery. So that just goes to show you can truly get 300 miles out of this Juniper. And obviously more if you're not running at faster highway speeds. If you dial the speed back, you can definitely get 325 plus out of this car, and then around town probably 350 plus. But I do run at highway speeds, so that definitely kills consumption. A lot of mountains through this area, Appalachian Mountains. There's a Salem, Virginia exit. I think it handled that well. I will be back with you in just a little bit here with kind of some final trip information. Down here, though, you'll see we're down to 232 watt-hours per mile. You saw it continuing to improve there as I was driving. Crazy, crazy, crazy good. Great job, Tesla. Be back soon. Okay, we are on the final stretch. We're now on 581, 232 watt-hours per mile. Been driving 2 hours, 144 miles. Overall, going to arrive with around 52% on the battery, sitting at 53 now. It's 81 degrees. The sun is poking out, and we are in the Roanoke Valley. Almost to my office. I'm going to give you a final stat update here in just a minute. This car is so good that it barely feels like you're moving at 60 miles an hour. I mean, seriously, it's crazy good. 229 watt-hours per mile now. We are almost there. I am going to give you my final trip information when I get off this exit coming up. And because then I've got to run into my work and take care of some things. So, anyhow, let me go ahead and walk you through it. We've got 2 more miles to go, so let's just call it 150 miles overall. We're in the 228 watt-hours per mile range. Overall in the Bristol trip, 226 watt-hours per mile, 287 miles. Lifetime on the car, 7,220 miles, 261 watt-hours per mile. Model Y is incredibly efficient. It's a great car. I highly recommend it. Again, use our referral code if you're going to buy one. Mine's in the description if you need it. And try FSD. Go test drive a Tesla that has the latest version of FSD and check it out. It's a total game changer. And I really think if the general population knew these cars drive themselves, it would change perspective. I mean, just look at this. Ride with me and check it out. I mean, do you see what the car just did here? I mean, look at that. They stopped in merging, which, they shouldn't do, because there's a far right merging lane. And that truck did the wrong thing and stopped in merging. And the car stopped fine, smoothly. It did what it needed to do. It's jumping over to the correct lane. And, yeah, that is the end of my video. Again, thanks for following along, and stay with me for the next one. Subscribe so you can see future videos. Have a great day, everyone, and take care.